right, you ready? All right. All right. Good morning. This is probably the best tradition in Summerville, saying the Pledge of Allegiance at 8 o'clock at Coastal Coffee Roasters. So if you'll join me in the pledge, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Make it a great day. Hey, good morning, everybody. Sean Bennett here. I am a resident of Summerville, own a business here in Summerville. I run a wealth management firm here, have raised my kids here, and now I have the distinct pleasure, probably one of the pleasures of my life, of representing this community in the South Carolina Senate.
We got to start kind of from the beginning. Did the business in Summerville come first, or the love of politics come first? What came first?
Yeah, I guess technically the love of politics came first, but that was a long time ago in college. Always enjoyed that, but the business came first. The family came first, I guess, and then the business came first to support that family. But I've been in business here, just right around the corner on Cedar Street since 1995.
Okay, what exactly do you do over there?
So we're a wealth management firm, so we do investment management, financial planning, really just helping people make good decisions about their money, particularly when it comes at a transition point, some sort of liquidity event. Somebody sells a business or they retire and they've got to cash out their 401k. Big triggering events like that, divorce, unfortunately, deaths in the family, just help people make good decisions and not lose the wealth that they've created.
Now we got to jump into politics now. Okay, how did that start for you? Where did that begin?
Yeah, I guess technically it began at the business because I was engaged in a lot of different things here in town. Chamber of Commerce. I got involved in the Chamber of Commerce early. I don't know if you remember, Phil Jones was the CEO of the Chamber at the time, and he walked into my office one day and didn't really offer me a position on the board, but I kind of finagled my way into asking me for a position on the board. So I served on that a lot. And from there, not only got involved in the local politics of it, the business side of the politics, but then that expanded. Worked my way up in the board, became chairman of the board of the local chamber, and by that, got a seat on the board of the Charleston Regional Development Alliance. It went more regionally at that point, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So the local business, to local politics, to regional business, to regional politics, and then ultimately decided to make a run at the Senate, and then it worked out.
Now, how long have you filled that seat?
13 years now. 13 years. It really feels like, some days it feels like I just got there. And then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 13 years. So yeah, it's been a good ride.
What does a senator do?
It depends on the day. I can go from a conversation with somebody about data centers and figuring out the power and ensuring the water quality and ensuring that citizens don't get saddled with that, to the next minute getting a call from somebody that has, their neighbor's got 27 cats in their yard and they want some help with that. It goes from one extreme to the other on any given day, any given topic.
But in politics, though, there's so much stress and conflict and people being on opposite directions. How do you deal with all that?
Well, yes and no. I mean, certainly at the federal level and the stuff that we see on TV every night is conflict. At the state level, though, it's not nearly as bad as that. I'm not saying there's not conflict, and I'm not saying there's not challenges, but I tell people all the time that we very rarely in Columbia have these hard R versus D fights. I mean, they come, don't get me wrong, but it's not every day, every minute of the day. In Washington, it's every minute of the day. In Washington, if I was a congressman or a senator, a Republican congressman or senator, and God forbid I got caught in a picture going out with a Democratic colleague for a drink or dinner or a ball game, I mean, it would be like the end of the world. But we do that all the time here. I mean, I've got plenty of Democrat friends that we don't see eye to eye on just about anything when it comes to policy necessarily. I shouldn't say that. On some of the big, more divisive issues, we don't see eye to eye on. There's a lot of issues that we do see eye to eye on. But we can go out and have a drink and go to the ball game or, whatever, play golf, and it's fine. And that's really the beauty, I think, of South Carolina. Now, the challenge I've seen is particularly over the last 4 or 5 years that South Carolina's attitudes and politics have drifted closer to what D.C. has become than D.C. has drifted back to what South Carolina is. And that's a concern for me. But right now, I mean, there's stress and there's challenges and there's fights, but it's not like the constant beating over the head that it is in Washington, D.C.
I think conflict's kind of good because you're hearing both sides.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when you meet in the middle, it's like, whoa, you could bring both sides to the table like that to solve the issues or whatever. So I'm all about a peaceful conflict.
Yeah.
So, okay, one question for you. Have you had a defining moment, Sean, where you did something to make a difference and you pulled in your driveway at the end of the day and just kind of sat there for a minute and thought, oh my gosh, I just was a part of that, and just really took it in?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have moments like that a lot, all the time. They're not always these big, earth-shattering moments, but I think any time that you can help somebody, one of the biggest from the political side, not the business side. I mean, the business side too, helping people is what we do, but on the political side, one of the most important things that I think we do is help the everyday citizen navigate government. So government isn't and shouldn't be the answer to all things. But there are moments in time where people have to engage the government. You and me and everybody in this house, all they want to do is get up in the morning, go to Coastal Park Roasters, get their coffee, go to work, go to the kids' soccer games, do all those different things. They don't think about government every day unless they're sitting in traffic and they're just screaming at the top of their lungs. But they just want to do their thing. But occasionally they've got to connect with government, whether it's at the DMV or getting a permit to take a tree down at the town, whatever that is. And they just don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. So, these big moments where you just go, I don't know, but there's a lot of little moments where you're able to say, geez, help that person navigate at the time the most important thing to them, because that connection with the government was hanging on their life for that moment in time. And it could be a big thing, it could be a little thing. Those are what we take away.
What's your favorite part of that job?
Yeah, I think the people, helping the people, again, navigate those issues, but also to your point that you made earlier about conflict and coming together. This country was built on coming together and negotiating and getting a resolution that people with two completely different views on life have to live under the same rules and regulations, right? So those are the fun parts where you can really get together with policymakers and dig through it. I'll give you an example. One of the most impactful and meaningful, and I shouldn't say impactful, but I guess most thought-provoking points of my service was just this year over an issue that I never thought I'd get involved in, and it was for physician non-competes. I mean, you wouldn't think that a physician, a bill to put forward that a physician could move from hospital to hospital whenever they want without being restricted by some kind of contract would really, get the juices flowing. But when we got in there, again, as a committee of Republicans and Democrats from different views, rural and urban and all those things, and we sat there for like 3 different committee meetings just talking through, is this the specific role of government? Should we get involved? And, a lot of the philosophical as well as the business related issues. And you're talking with members of the Senate that you regularly disagree with on business issues, right? But you're able to have a meaningful conversation about this issue and walk through it. Now that doesn't get anybody's juices flowing out there, right? Except for some doctor that's stuck in a contract right now. But it was really an interesting just conversation, a deep conversation at times. And those are the fun things for me is getting in and actually thinking through a policy or a bill, and what are the unintended consequences that this could bring. And if you put this into law, right, it's much easier to put things in the law to take things out of the law. And if you put this into the law, what are the things that ultimately could go wrong that would make it worse than before, or cause different problems that we didn't think about? That's the fun part.
I've seen that you've done like, I don't want to call them town halls, but like meetings, like with the public.
I do
you
coffee
do
house
that a lot.
caucus. I do.
You do what?
I do too. I do first of all, I really like those because they're designed to be small group settings where I can actually have a conversation with citizens of this community. So not some big town hall where 1 or 2 people monopolize the time. It's a smaller thing. And I do them in a really casual setting. So I do 2. I do what we call the coffee house caucus. Those are usually Saturday morning somewhere, and I rotate them around the community at different coffee shops. We've done it here at Coastal Coffee Roasters a couple times, but we try to move it around the community. And just get together, and there is absolutely zero agenda. There is absolutely no speech. There's no stump speech. It's just, hey, here's kind of what's going on in Columbia. What are you concerned about? What do we need to be paying attention to? And those are really great conversations. The other one is what we call pub politics, for those people that don't like to have an adult beverage, but we do those usually on a Thursday evening somewhere around town at a restaurant or a pub or something. And again, just a casual conversation around
Didn't you do like the big barbecue, or not the barbecue?
I do an oyster roast. I used to do we call it an annual oyster roast. COVID, we missed a year, and there's 1 or 2 years where we just got super busy and just couldn't pull it off because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get done. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Where are you going in your future? Are we going to the White House eventually?
Only for a tour. Yeah, no. I mean, if you would have asked me even probably as recently as 5 years ago, do you have ambitions to go to Washington? I would probably say yeah. I mean, but when you see it, Washington is just so broken. just so broken.
Well, maybe they need people like you.
Well, they probably do. I don't know if they need people like me, but they certainly need different people. But it's going to take a while to get things done. But I also keep coming back. I've spent a lot of time lately thinking about what's the role of us as citizens and what's the role of the states. And the founders were pretty clear, if you really look back at it. The states are where the action was expected to take place. And that's where it's taking place because DC is so broken and things are not getting done. More and more big things are being done at the state level, and the states are becoming that, what do they call it? Just the incubators, if you will, the experiments out there of policy and what works and what doesn't work. And let several states try to solve this problem this way, and let several states try to solve it this way, and let's see who's right and what's right for the culture in that individual state. And there's been a lot of pressure put on the states to basically turn into Washington, D.C. and just follow D.C.'s lead on everything, and that's just not how we were built. And I'm really interested in making sure that South Carolina retains its identity and is at the forefront of national politics as well.
Yeah, because this just doesn't sound like a job to you. This sounds like a passion in your heart, home.
Yeah, no, it's not a job. I mean, it is a job. There's a lot of stuff that we do that is kind of job related, constituent service, that sort of thing. But the policy thing, the thoughtful stuff is not. It really is. I mean, I enjoy it. Look, we were given a great gift 250 years ago when the founders created this experiment that we have, and it's up to us to kind of live up to their expectations and fix what they didn't get right and hold on to the things that they did and not try to change those. But my job is across the street. That's my job, and that's a true passion too, because I really enjoy what we do there, the people that we help.
Yeah, because you've been here for so long now. I'm sure there's a big, bright future ahead for that as well.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. I mean, I'm getting to the point now where it's, how do we transition that to the next leadership, so that it can continue. But yeah, we've been very blessed. I grew up in North Charleston. I moved to Summerville. My wife Tina and I moved to Summerville in 1993, I guess. Year after we got married, 2 years after we got married. And when we were looking for our first, home to start the family, I really wanted to move to Mount Pleasant. And I remember Tina saying, well, you can move to Mount Pleasant, but I'm moving to Summerville. So we ended up in Summerville, and that was probably one of the first fights that I lost. Been many since then that I've lost with her. But this has been the one that I've been really thankful that she won. This really is a special community, and people don't really understand it unless they're here for a while. And we've got a lot of people moving in, and I think a lot of people that are moving in, I mean, they know it's a nice place, but I don't know that they really know how special it is. This community's been really good to me. From my business, they've embraced my business and allowed me to grow. Like I said, we started in 1995. Gave me the ability to raise 2 kids here, and now seeing my daughter raise a grandson here. That's pretty cool. It wasn't my first stop in the business world, but it was certainly the last one, and it's been good to me. And that's transitioned over into people, giving me the honor to serve them in the Senate too.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything on camera, but I'm going to add it. So when my daughter Rachel had passed away of cancer in 2014, it was a really difficult time for us. And, and I tell everybody, and that knows me on this platform that I started this business because the community rallied around us when we weren't doing anything. I mean, we weren't those people running the businesses, or we weren't those people that was, in high political jobs. We were just normal, regular people. And you were one of the people that reached out to us during that time and even came to our home, and you presented Rachel with
resolution from the state senate.
Of her strength and her courage, wanting to finish school.
Yeah.
And I got a picture of you with her, which I'm going to post after this, but just embracing us and you make everyone feel important, or if someone wants to talk, that you're willing to listen and to be there. I mean, and even after she had passed away, you sent me and my husband a personal letter expressing more of your condolences, but it's so special. But you were a part of that community, during that time for us.
Well, you're kind to say that. I know that it was a difficult time for you, and it's still a difficult time, but you're right. I mean, this community does rally around people a lot. And that's the culture that we want to maintain and can't lose track of. Because if you lose that, then you lose something that you can't put that on a bulletin board. You can't put that on a economic development tip sheet. It's just something that people feel, and if you lose it, it's hard to pull that back.
Is there anything else that I didn't cover that you might want to add to this or to tell people?
No, I mean, let's not let the negativity that we see every day on the television, get to us. I mean, you started this conversation off by that conflict question. I agree with you. You need conflict, but you got to have civility, and civility is just going down the drain.
And respect. I feel like the respect part is everything that we're seeing is not valued anymore.
No, we're in a world that if we disagree, then there's nothing. I read somewhere one time, I think it was Arthur Brooks. Arthur Brooks was the former CEO of American Enterprise Institute. He's since left that and gone back into academia. But he made a comment one time on a podcast I was listening to. He said, you can disagree with people all day long. Once you reach the level of contempt, there is no coming back from that. So once you feel contempt for someone, you're done. And I think that is what, you're going to post this on social media, and there's a lot of good things about social media. But I got to be honest with you, if I were king of the world for a day, I'd wave the magic wand. There would be no more social media because it has just gotten to be where most of it is driven by that contempt. How many clicks can I get of talking badly about somebody, not how many clicks can I get from talking good about what's going on in the world. And those are real challenges. So we've got to figure that out, or we're gonna lose our identity, and who knows, lose a lot more. There's a lot of good people out there that are striving every day to do good things in the world. You're one of them. People that represent this community, do it every day. They don't get the attention I think they deserve. It's always on that negativity, and we got to fix that to where just because we disagree, we're not enemies necessarily. We just disagree. And in politics, what you got to realize is the person that you're going to disagree with today vehemently is the person you're going to need to get something else across the finish line down the road.
Let me ask you this, and I know we need to wrap this up, but I just have one question because this conversation is really good. How do you think, Sean, we can get that respect and get back to that solution?
I don't know. I think we just have to expose ourselves to more people, right? Get out of our echo chambers. I mean, you go to any type of, whether it's an online group or a community group sometimes, and you go in the room or you go online, and it's the, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Well, how about get some information from somebody you disagree with and find out, what the other position is. It doesn't mean that you have to buy into that. And I get accused a lot of times about, again, I started this conversation by saying it's okay from a political standpoint in South Carolina for a Republican to have a drink or go to a ball game with a Democrat, and that's true. But there's also a lot of people that are like, well, why are you talking to that person? Or why are you engaging that person? And I'm like, well, ever thought that maybe I'm a seller of ideas and not a buyer of ideas? I mean, if I can get in front of people that disagree with me, and I can make a case for my position, maybe I change their mind. Maybe they change my mind. But to just avoid it and get in our own little tribe all the time, that's the problem. So that's probably the first thing I would say is just get outside of your tribe, get outside of your echo chamber, talk to people you disagree with, talk to people with different views. You may find a lot more in common than you think.
Okay, I am going to let you get back because you got a lot. You got multiple jobs and multiple things. So, but from me and Sean, we are going to go, and we'll see you later.
Thanks.
Bye.